Hi everyone, sorry we're a bit late, a few technical issues, but we're here. What's this? What is this? This is a sneak peek. We can't wait to show you. You know what I'm like, I get the stuff and I just want to give you a little bit of a taster of what's to come. So put this in your diary, next Wednesday the 31st of January, 11 AM. That's next Wednesday, a week from now, but 11 o'clock in the morning. That's the 31st of January. We are launching our new stamp range. So not only have we got a booklet full of beautiful papers, which I'm not going to show you all tonight, we have got a gorgeous stencil, which I just love. I just love that. I love this circle here. Yeah, it's just fabulous. We have also got some gorgeous red rubber stamps. This, let me introduce you to Lady Fortescue, our beautiful steampunk woman. We have some gorgeous, gorgeous buildings here. I just love them. Just love them. There's a little cloud here. Look on the back. I shouldn't spend too much time on these because it's supposed to be a sneak peek. Anyway, so this is Sir Henry Fortescue, and he's definitely the man. An ordinary life can be extraordinary. Of course it can. Here we go. So he's just rather deliciously looking. And then we've got more. Okay, we've got more. Look at this. I love this. We've also got a cobbled street here. We've got some more clouds, and we've got beautiful steampunk engine come. Anyway, this is Wells House. Then we've got Feltwell Road. We've got some cogs, of course. We've got a beautiful new little house here, steampunky house. New home, new adventures, new memories. Gorgeousness. Then we've got two new collectors, I know, loads. Two new collector's editions, number 65 and 66. Let's put those on together. So we've got Steampunk Manor and we've got Clockwork Cottage. So we've got lots of new, beautiful things. Just to remind you, next Wednesday, 31st of January, 11 AM, I'm going to be launching these. But that's not all, because I couldn't help but just show you just a couple of sneak peeks of some of the work our design team have come up with. Too much?
Too much. This is not a sneak peek. This is a show.
Okay, look at this. Sue Jacob, you've outdone yourself. Carolyn, gorgeous, absolutely stunning. Lorna, Leslie, absolutely amazing. And I love this. I love this. Ta-da! Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's your sneak peek done. Here you go, Alfie. Take them away. Take them away from there. There we go. Lovely. So that's your sneak peek. You've been told Wednesday, 11 AM, 31st of January, next Wednesday. There you go. Okay, let me have a little sneaky slurp. No, it's not wine, unfortunately. That's later. I'm going to do a double page journal page, and I'm going to be using all of the earth colours. So the earth colours are all of the like red iron oxide, terra vert, burnt sienna. There's the red oxide. I've also got yellow ochre as well, and I'm using 22 karat gold as well, and I've got viridian blue, so a beautiful viridian blue. So sometimes you just need to push yourself a little bit, and you know me, I'm quite a bluey green person, and I tend to be using the same colours over and over again because I go for my my favourites. Alfie's telling me to point this out to you. Yeah. Okay, now I can't read it from here, so Alfie, can you read that out for me?
20% off Zuri stamps and matte paints. It's only for a few days, but because you're using them, 20% off, and the discount code is Zuri20.
Nice. Nice. So I've got some viridian blue. I know I said I wasn't going to be doing blues and greens, but I'm sticking to the other colours. But what I'm doing is I'm putting the blue on first, and then it's going to get covered up quite a bit. instead of the other way around. Okay, and it makes me feel a bit more secure that I've got a little bit of blue in here. Come on, turn round. Why is this not turning round? Okay, maybe I'll end with, yeah, maybe it's broken. So maybe I'll just do a few stripes then. There we go.
Just doesn't go on the shiny surface.
Maybe I'm just not putting enough effort into it. There we go. All right, maybe I'm not. So let me just clean my brush, and I'm just going to pick up the rest of that paint on my paint mat. Okay, that's good. And rather than mixing the colour, I'm just going to wipe that up. Where's my other rag? There we go. Okay, now I feel a bit better that I've got a little bit of blue, Viridian blue on there. Now let's go for, let's have a little bit of gesso. So I'm going to get
those pages out of your A5, aren't they?
They are. This is the special watercolour card that we have in our A5 journals, and what I've done is I've taken them out and I've stuck them together with a little bit of masking tape, which I will take off afterwards and then put them back in my journal. It just makes it a lot easier for me to do a double page. So let's get a little bit of white going on here, and I've got a smaller roller that I know works a little bit better. So let's do them vertically, and then this way it's creating a bit of a barrier. It's moving around quite a lot. It's quite excited tonight. There we go. So that's got that started. Just clean my brush on a rag. There we go. And let's have, I've got loads in the lid actually. Let's have some of this lovely yellow ochre. So a little bit of that will do. I can always put more on. Is there a plan? No, there's not a plan. I'm just having a play. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, it's only a piece of card after all. But I like that. I do. I like that. So that's the yellow ochre. And I released all of these colours because they're earth colours all at the same time, because they do go together. And my friend Mike said it's about time you did a load of artist colours, Kay. And these are the sort of, I would say, the traditional colours. These were originally mined from minerals before they started creating. Oh, there we go, that's good. Sorry, I got distracted before they started using artificial colours. Here we go. Now this is beautiful. This is the 22 karat gold. Okay, so this is like a Quin gold. This is sort of my version.
Paula's joined us.
Hi Paula.
Out of hospital.
What, Paula from America? Our Paula?
Yeah.
Oh, we really missed you on the last journal course. So you've been in hospital again. I hope you're going to get better really quickly, and we're sending you lots of love and hugs from the UK, Paula.
She's asked, do she need an additional 8x8 journal for the Feb art journal class?
Probably yes, because I filled up mine. Yes, and we're going on to another one now.
Can't have enough journals.
You can't have enough journals, you're quite right. So this is looking quite nice. I'm liking what's going on here. Now I have got, of course, the Viridian Terre Verte, I should say. Should we have a little bit of Terre Verte? Let's just put it over the top of this. Let's just clean off my roller and clean off this. So yeah, we do separate the colour, and I'm just going to clean my brush off onto a rag. There we go. And again, I've got a little bit in the lid. So remember, these are transparent colours, all right? And I'm just using, have I? Have I said they were matte? I'm really sorry, darling. They are transparent. Really sorry.
Right, so
that was
completely not working properly then, is it? That's good.
Oh, I'm really sorry, guys. That's my fault. I just wasn't listening, concentrating, or whatever in my usual way. So I do apologise to you all. Yes, these are transparent colours, so you can see that when I put one on top of the other, you can still see through to the colour underneath. So I think that was a little bit too much, so I'm going to knock that back with a little bit of white gesso, which is not transparent. This is opaque. So I'm going to go over the top with a little bit of that. So now I need to clean up again. Just use my rag to clean my roller. There we go. And I'm just going to wipe up my paint mat.
Okay, the code has now changed. It does now apply to translucent paints.
Thanks, Alfie. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for correcting my mistakes.
So it looks like 8x8s are out of stock, but they will be back in shortly. Journals, I mean.
Yeah, that's right. I did see that there's an order in place for them, so they should be here soon. Okay, so white gesso. Let's try and knock this back a little bit. There we go. That's nice. And then we get the white coming through. I want it a little bit heavier on this left-hand page here. So let's go vertically. That's good. Yeah, you see that green was a little bit too heavy for me. I really liked the yellow ochre and the 22 karat gold. I thought that worked quite nicely, but that green was too much. There we go. That's better. Right, I like that. Let's just, might as well use up all of this. There we are. Alrighty, so let me just put a lid on that. I'll just clean my brush, wipe this up. I could just pop it in a bucket of water, but I don't have one today. There we go, and let's just clean that up a little bit. Okay, good to go. So there we are now with this. Now I want to bring in some stencils, but first I'm just going to blast this dry so my stencil doesn't stick to it. Just make sure you don't heat your paint mat because it will definitely melt. There we go. Lovely. Alrighty. This I think is called, what's this one called, Alfie?
Is
it like a damaged harlequin or something? Damaged diamonds or...
bear with me.
I'm going to come back in with a little bit of the yellow ochre.
Tattered Harlequin.
Tattered Harlequin, excellent. So I'm going to have some of the yellow ochre on here, but I'm also going to get a little bit of red oxide as well on there, and I might just end up mixing the colours a little bit. So I've got a sponge, I've got some kitchen sponge, and I've got some cut and dry as well, and I'm just going to go off the edge so they're not completely in the middle there, and just going to hold that down and just do a little bit so you can see how that translucency works. It's just beautiful, isn't it, that you can layer up and it doesn't cover exactly everything that's underneath.
Teresa's asked, could you use the gesso through the stencil?
Yeah, of course, I will actually do that, because I like using gesso through a stencil, because again it gives you that white space. So you can see that's lovely, isn't it, mixing those two colours, and again you can still see what's going on underneath. And then if I go over the top with, just move this slightly, get a cleaner sponge and a clean brush. There we go. This is a clean one, it's just stained from what I've used it with. So now I'm going to move the stencil slightly, and I'm going to come in with a bit of white gesso. Now this does cover up what's gone before, but I'm just going to put a light layer on, so hopefully we'll still see a bit of colour from underneath. Yep, there we go. At the bottom there. So lovely. And let's just put a little up here, so you can see that works really nicely. I think I might do a little bit more white here, because I think those harlequins are beautiful, but they're a little bit too dominant for my liking. So I'm going to just come in a little bit from the edge here. There we go, just to soften that down a little bit. Okay, let me just move that mat so you can still see the colours, but I can work on this left-hand page. So I'm going to start with the red oxide on this side, and just very lightly put a bit of colour into that. And then I need some, got a dirty brush, I'll just clean my brush. I need a bit of yellow ochre, so that's going to mix. No, it's not. I'm going to use a clean sponge just to go over the top of that, like this. Yeah, that's nice, that works, doesn't it? And again, let's just get our white gesso now. And because I'm just putting these on thin layers, it's not sopping wet, so I don't have to worry about it making a bit of a mess. But it also means that the gesso picks up on the colour that I've just laid down. There we go, so I'm just dabbing that on. So you can see how that's nice, how it's sort of offset slightly. That's good, like that.
Okay, Anne has asked about, will there be samples of the new collection at York? There will certainly be samples to look at.
There will certainly be samples to look at. Fantastic. Yeah, we'll take some with us. Okay, so I really quite like some of this. Now, colourway. Do I come in with a little bit of the Terre Verte, or should I put a smidgen? No, come on Kay, stay away from the blue, just go with it. Maybe, how about a bit of burnt sienna? Now this is quite a rich, deep brown, okay, but what if I mix that with the yellow ochre? Oh, that's nice. That works for me. So I'm going to pick up a bit of that, and let's have this stencil here, just a touch, not too heavy. There we go. Yes, like that. And maybe some of this, and perhaps a little bit of this. Yeah, I could use masking tape and just mask off some little bits, but I'm too impatient, if I'm honest. So let's just get a little bit of those numbers down there. So yeah, that's adding a little nice bit of contrast. Maybe let's take a little bit more and have a, oops, a little bit up there. Oh, you can't see because of that. There you go. So I've just put that bit in there. Now we don't want it too mucky now, do we? But you see, I'm used to using bright colours, and for me to be using neutral colours is quite unusual for me. Right, so I want lots of white gesso on this just to knock it back. So I'm going to come in with this stencil here, and I'm going to just do quite a bit of this just to see. Yeah, that knocks it back quite nicely. Okay, and more here. Okay, maybe I think if I just take my brush, put some more gesso on here, and let's just use my finger just to get some smears of white over the top of this, just to break it up a little bit. Because sometimes a brush can be too definite. And sometimes your finger can be the best tool. I'm just going to move this around to make it easier for myself. The thing is just to keep playing, because if you don't like it, you just put some more on, or you just put gesso all over it and just build up from there. But I'm sort of thinking this is coming together a bit better. It just seemed a little bit dark, but you know, these colours aren't exactly dead bright. And if you notice, I've stuck with mostly the warm colours. I have got that viridian blue underneath, but I think that gesso does actually do it. Let's have a little bit more. And it's such a lovely titanium white that it just really rocks. So let's just put these on. How are we doing on the questions? Is everyone all right?
Yep.
Yeah. Super. Whoops, a daisy. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going over some of these white areas because the gesso is opaque, so that will sit on top and cover what's underneath, and it'll calm it down somewhat. There we go, because when we put our stamping on top, you don't want it to be completely overshadowed. Right, that's good. That's good. Right, what about the edging? I'm not going to do a dark edge. I'm going to come round with, I'm going to hold it up and just, well, smear, really. A bit of gesso around the edges here. Excuse me if you can't see properly at the moment.
Would you stamp straight onto the page?
Yeah, definitely, because it's nice and smooth, and it's a really nice paper to work on. Well, it's card actually, it's a watercolour card, and it's very smooth. We have it made for us in our journals. So, and the acrylic that I'm putting on is not, I was going to say it's not thick, but it's not lumpy or anything. It's really quite smooth. So you can see that I've got that white outline there. So I'm just going to cover these up a bit, move them out of the way whilst I just blast that. Then I can do some stamping. Alrighty, so that's good. So I'm going to use drips and textures, I think. But first I need this circle background because I want to, I've already stamped this butterfly here, and I've partially coloured it so I can do a demo for you. So that's going to go there. So I want the geo circle to go in the background. So it's a lovely big stamp. So let me just grab my block, which is over in the corner, and I'm just going to knock my phone over. There we go. Okay. So with this, I'm thinking black is going to be too strong. So I've got out some Olympia green, and I've also got out some vintage sepia. But you could even go more on the sort of red ochre scale, couldn't you? No, I'm going to stick with sepia. Now this is quite an old ink pad, so it's quite well used, and it may not stamp the whole of the image because it's just a bit knackered, to be frank. So we'll see. If it's quite pale, it doesn't matter because that's good. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's lovely. See, that's going to look gorgeous on there. I think I might put one. No, I'll leave it for now. Not sure. Then we've got this little one. I keep knocking my page around, I'm sorry. We've got this little circle which I can add. Because it's, I should have wet both sides at the same time and then it wouldn't have curled, but you know, I forgot. There we go, and let's have that one there. And let's have a couple on that side as well. I love that. Love that stamp. So that's the Geo Circle background. We've also got, let me do my drips and textures. So I haven't actually done any words for this side, but I will. Don't know what yet. Let's try this one on here. So I'm guessing that that can go behind the words, sort of like that, just to give it a bit of texture, just like that. That's good because it's quite pale. That's what I want. I don't, you see, black would be too harsh, wouldn't it? She says, trying to justify it to herself. I think this one is gorgeous. I haven't used this for ages and I love this stamp. Because this is the sort of mark making that I do when I do use my store card, and I really do like this. So I think this can come again behind these words, wherever they're going to go, round about there. And I think the second generation could come in here. So it's really, really faint. That's good. Leave it alone, Kay. That's enough. Step away from the stamp. Okay. And I do love this, but is that going to be too much? Let's just have a think. All right, let me just live with it for a few minutes whilst we do the butterfly. Okay, so what I've done is I've started the butterfly just using the same paints, the same paint colours. Okay, let me just clean up this mat a little bit because it's getting a right mess. Put that back in the pot. Let's just clean that. Put my lid on there. Let's just move this. I've got some water in front of me. Move my sponges, clean these brushes. Get some fresh water. Have a drink. There we go. Okay, so I've used the yellow ochre. So I'm just using tiny amounts, about the size of a grain of rice. I've used the 22 karat gold. I haven't used the red oxide much. Oh yes, I have. I've used it a tiny bit in there. So tiny. Well, I don't actually need any, do I? Because there's some there. I'll use that. I've also used a little bit of the Terra Vert. Just clean my brush. So let's just get a teeny weeny bit of that. And I have used the Viridian Blue. So just teeny weeny bit of that. I don't think I'll use the burnt sienna. So the lovely thing about this is that when you lay down a colour, I'll tell you what, I haven't got any of the, did I get that? Oh yes, I did get the 22 karat gold. When you lay down a colour with a translucent, if you go back over the top with another translucent colour, it visually mixes with what's underneath. So you can see that if I put that on top of that yellow, you get more of an orangey colour. There we go. And what I've done is, on the tips of the leaves, you can probably see that it's actually darker. So I've used the Terra Verde, that green, and then on the tips I've just used the Viridian blue. And that makes the tips of the leaves darker. And then here I've used the Viridian blue, like this. And then I've come back in with the yellow ochre. Let me just clean my brush like this. My brush is quite wet, so it's sort of mixing in with the paint, which is good. And then just painting a bit in the tips, and then you can see that that will create a lovely green edge there. Okay, so I've already done this in red oxide, so I'm going to come in with the yellow ochre. Oh, too wet, Kay, too wet. I'll just take all that paint off my brush, don't need all of that. So if I come in with that yellow ochre, you can see that it makes this really lovely warm yellow. Like that. There we go. And let's just put a little bit of that red oxide on the tips. I'll just get a little bit of red oxide here. Just put a little bit of water in with it, and then let's just do a little flick of the red oxide. Just on the tips there. There we go. So you can see the bit more definition there. Again, what I've done is I've put the yellow ochre on the edges of the petals. And then the oxide just in those shady bits there, so that you get a nice visual mix. It's like putting one colour of stained glass window over the top of another, because you can see through these paints, which is lovely. Alright, so let's just clean my brush. I think we'll probably just do plain yellow ochre in these bits here. Just a really, really light wash, because I'm going to put something over the top of this in a minute. And I want to show you how you can highlight with Luscious, because Luscious is gorgeous. And I'm just going to put a little bit more yellow ochre just here, just to darken it slightly. And I think we'll have the yellow ochre here as well, just to speed it up. I would normally spend quite a bit of time just enjoying painting in. So what I've done is I've actually stamped this with black Versafine. I've then put a clear superfine embossing powder on. So when I paint, it just makes it really easy for me to paint, because the embossing powder is like a plastic and it resists the paint going over the edges, so it just makes it a lot easier for me to paint without having to mess about too much. Okay, that's good. I'm actually going to mix a little bit. I know I said I wouldn't, but I'm just going to mix a tiny bit of 22 karat gold in with this, just to give me a little bit of a shadow here and here. Just a teeny weeny bit. Okay, there we go. So this is acrylic, so once acrylic is dry, that's it, it's not going to move. So if we go over the top with another paint or luscious or anything like that, it's not going to reactivate it. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. So let's have a look at what we have here. And I need a nice fine paintbrush. So, oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? Right, so what I've done is, if you haven't seen my luscious before, they come in a pot like this, and it's pigment powder, and then we've actually put mica in it as well, so you get the sumptuousness of a pigment, but you also get the sparkle of a mica as well. And all I've done is, let me just grab a brush, is put a wet brush in here, swirled it around, and then mixed it in. And because it's mixed with water, you can reconstitute it.
Did you stamp the butterfly on watercolour card? I
did stamp the butterfly on watercolour card, yes. I used our indigo blue watercolour card, which is hot press, so it's smooth. And it does make a big difference actually when you're colouring. So that's all you need to do with your luscious, and then you can actually just reconstitute it by adding a bit of water to it. Right, so I'm going to get a small brush, and I think we could do with, let's use this, which is Magic Sparkle. So this is one of the ingredients we actually use in our luscious to give it that extra sparkle. So I'm just adding a little bit of water to reconstitute it. You want it sort of like the thickness of double cream, really, a nice thick amount. You don't want it too thin that you don't get enough of the mica. And I'm just going to just put a little bit along here, like that, and a little bit along here, just these edges. I can't actually quite see very well because I need to be a bit closer really, but my head will be in the way of the camera. And then I'm going to do this line here.
So Paula's going for a well-earned rest.
Oh, is she? Bless her. Lots of love to you, Paula. Because it is about, what time is it there? She's about 5 hours behind, isn't she?
It'll be in the afternoon.
Yeah, so she's just got back from hospital. She must be exhausted. Okay, so let's just do a little bit around here. There we go. So we've just got a little hint of colour. That's a bit messy, but I can clean that up. And then I think we need some, now is this gold? Yes it is. So this is just simply called gold. So let's get this moving. So again, plenty of water just to reconstitute it and just mix it until it's nice and thick. As I say, like a thick cream. There we go. So I'm just going to put just a little bit of colour on here. And a little bit of colour on here, I think. So this will actually cover over the top, so that you get a bit of...
Can't see it.
How about that?
No, it's focused on the desk.
There we go. So let's just put a tiny weeny bit on these. Like that. So it just gives you a little bit of a highlight. There we go. Okay, so I could play with that for ages, but I'll move on before you fall asleep. Okay, so let's just move this out of the way and let's just place that on here. That's good. And then I think I just need some words on that side. So, oh, I tell you what I have made as well. I've made a little bit of piece of scrap of paper and a little bit of lace and just a little embellishment, which I thought could possibly go on. Right, let's get this in the way. Oh, by the way, Alfie, you've still got my grab and go from your model making.
Oh, it'll be in the range.
I could do with that back actually, because this is nearly at the end. Okay, so I would normally squish this on the paint mat, but it's full of paint. So let's put her right in the middle of that geo circle. Oh, what a stroke of luck. The tail has just gone into that circle there, which is lovely. Yeah, I like that. And let's have this. Ooh, shall we have it here or here? What do you think, Alfie?
Far right.
Far right. There.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, good call. And so I just need some words, which I haven't organised, which I should have done, but ran out of time. So let's just go with right, okay, instead of you sitting around waiting for me to procrastinate, waiting whilst I procrastinate, let's just use take some words for from our Mr. Holtz here. What have we got? We've got all sorts in here, etc. Lucky is a state of mind. Listen to your heart. I think we'll go with, you know, this. Scissors. So, wow, these are nice and thick. Where did I put my grab and go? There we go. So, Should we go like this?
No, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, don't you just love dyslexia? I thought it said the right thing. Good job I've got you in the room.
It might if you're that bloke off Star Wars.
What bloke off Star Wars?
The big guy who speaks in riddles.
What earth are you talking about?
Everybody watching will know. I don't know what he's called.
Yeah, our Trekkie friends will know.
No. Not Star Trek, Star Wars.
Oh, you said Star Wars. I thought you said Star Trek. Oh, God. There's just no hope for me, really. Is
Yoda.
there?
That's who, Yoda.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there we go. Teresa had already written it in the chat.
Well done, Teresa. Thanks very much for that. Okay, and so I think we'll go for a little bit of brown, right, all Stabilo All pencil, just a little bit around here, and let it mix with the glue. Never mind. There were a few Trekkies and Star Wars fans at the weekend, wasn't there? Like that
Yes.
fair we went to. Okay, so I'll just pull that out a little bit with a damp brush, just a touch, not too much, just to soften that edge slightly. There we go. Just so it's not brilliantly white on there. Okay, step away, Kay, while you're ahead. Oh, so 24th.
Mm-hmm.
So that's me.
Can't see what you're doing.
Can you not? Sorry, I'm just putting my name on.
Mm-hmm.
And the 24th of Jan. '24. Nice. There we go. I might put a shadow around there. Okay, so reminder, next Wednesday, 31st of January at 11 AM for the new release. Looking forward to that. And phew, I only got a little bit of blue in it. Come on, I did all right, really, didn't I? Sticking to my earth colours. Okay, I really enjoyed that. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you next week. Take care, have a good one, and live creatively.